The Keyblade is a very important aspect of Kingdom Hearts. It's the weapon that Sora wields throughout his adventures, and of course many others do so as well. The weapon has certainly become a staple point within the series, becoming extremely important, and as the series has progressed, many more characters have been introduced who also wield Keyblades too. With the introduction of Kingdom Hearts Key, which acts as an origin story to Kingdom Hearts, it was clear that in the ancient times, Keyblade Wielders were extremely common. Today we'll be exploring one of the most iconic video game weapons and explaining its lore, the Keyblade.
The Keyblade!
Keyblades are what the name suggests, key-shaped blades used for the battle between light and darkness. Keyblades are powerful weapons wielded by those who have strong hearts and ambitions. This means that only certain people can wield these weapons. If a Keyblade Master performs what is known as a Keyblade Inheritance Ceremony on a person, it is then destined for that person to one day summon forth a Keyblade from the strength of their heart. An example is of course Riku, in which Terra performed the ceremony on. Terra saw great potential in Riku and felt similarities between himself and the young kid. Of course, because Riku succumbed to the darkness at the very start of Kingdom Hearts 1, Riku's heart weakened, and the power of the Keyblade faded for the meantime. It wasn't until after the events of Chain of Memories where Riku's Soul Eater transformed into the Way to Dawn, which is his Keyblade in its true form. Keyblades have many different powers allocated to them, but of course the powers don't just come from the Keyblade alone, but also come from the wielder. For example, Aqua's powers focus more towards magical spells and using the Keyblade to bring forth strong elements. Terra's power focuses more towards raw strength and hard hits. Ventus's power focuses on speed and agility, with maneuvering quickly similar to Sora's power. However, something that all Keyblades have in common is the effectiveness against the Heartless. You see, if a regular weapon were to destroy a Heartless, the captive heart within the Heartless would not be set free, meaning that the Heartless would just come back to life in another location. However though, if a Keyblade wielder destroys a Heartless, then the heart will be set free. This means that Keyblades are extremely effective against the Heartless threat, as well as being effective towards nobodies, unversed, and nightmare dream eaters. As explained in Kingdom Hearts 1, the Heartless can use a Keyblade as a homing beacon, meaning that the Heartless can track the Keyblade wielder very easily. This of course means that Keyblade wielders are always in constant threat of being attacked by the Heartless. Keyblades can also be used for the powers of darkness as well. Xehanort is a very clear candidate for this. Xehanort's Keyblade is one of the most ancient, and before Xehanort wielded this mysterious Keyblade, it was wielded by an ancient apprentice of the Master of Masters known as Luxu. As of right now, Luxu's intentions are unclear, but one thing that we do know is that Xehanort somehow inherited the ambitions. Xehanort's Keyblade is very powerful as it has the ability to extract his own heart from his body into another. This is the process Xehanort uses to create multiple versions of himself into vessels so that 13 of his darknesses can eventually clash between the 7 lights at the ancient Keyblade graveyard. The version of Xehanort known as Young Xehanort, who we see a lot in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, acquired the power to time travel thanks to Ansem. His Keyblade is themed heavily around time travel and time manipulation. Another Keyblade to talk about is of course the X-Blade, which is pronounced as Keyblade. This Keyblade is extremely powerful as it's used to access the heart-shaped moon known as Kingdom Hearts, which will of course allow the wielder to tap into the actual power of Kingdom Hearts. In Birth by Sleep, Xehanort's plan was to use Ventus and Vanitas to clash against each other to summon forth the X-Blade. However, this plan failed as Ventus sacrificed a piece of his heart to stop Vanitas and the resurrection of the X-Blade and the Keyblade War. The X-Blade then shattered, and the only way now to resurrect this weapon is for 13 vessels of Xehanort to clash against the 7 Guardians of Light. Back in the ancient times, Keyblade wielders were extremely common. A world known as Daybreak Town used to be host to thousands of Keyblade wielders who used their Keyblades to serve unions to collect light from the Heartless. Eventually, the unions broke out into a massive conflict, which then led to the Keyblade War. As of right now, not too much is known about the Keyblade War or really how it started. Speaking towards Sora's possession over a Keyblade, it's actually quite interesting. An inheritance ceremony was never performed on Sora, However, when Ventus's heart was sacrificed, a small part of Ventus's heart found its way to Sora, and Sora allowed this small piece of heart into his own so that it could mend. Although Sora's method of obtaining the Keyblade has not actually been clearly explained in the series so far, it's safe to assume that there were many different aspects going for Sora at the time of when he obtained the Keyblade. A possibility is of course the piece of Ventus that resides within Sora. As you guys know, Ventus was a Keyblade wielder, so a part of Ventus's power could have tapped into Sora, granting him the ability to summon forth a Keyblade. Another possibility is that Sora has an extremely strong heart, and he's proven this many times throughout the series. One thing we know for certain is that the Keyblade Sora wields, known as the Kingdom Key, is Sora's very own Keyblade in its true form, and that each Keyblade wielder's Keyblade usually has a different appearance unless a keychain is attached. Keychains are collected when Sora helps out a Disney World. This grants the power to change the appearance of the Keyblade. There are still many different mysteries surrounding the Keyblade, like who is the first to tap into the power of the blade, or what its true purpose actually is. Many of these lingering questions will most likely be explained within the Kingdom Hearts Key series, or perhaps Kingdom Hearts 3. However guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.